Okay, we're live.
What's up?
What's happening? We have Charlie Bonnet III.
Yeah, man. Hey, you're taller than me in this video. Like, I'm offended. Like, I'm 6'7" in the cowboy hat, and you're like popping at about 6'10" right now.
You're very tall, dude. I mean, holy shit, you're kind of intimidating. You see you coming, it's like, what's up, dude?
No, man. I'm a teddy bear with a rock and roll habit.
And that's the truth. I got to start off by saying, okay, I'm a big advocate of going to see the opening band. If you're going to a show, go to the show early enough where you're going to catch the full show. You're going to catch the opening bands, and everybody's usually there for the headliner, whatever. But go see the opening band on it was February 16th. I do believe 2019. I think I just got off the Mosses of Rock cruise, and Junkyard played the Mosses of Rock cruise. And I'm like, all right, I had tickets, me and had two people, Bruce Hill and Pam Walker, come down, and another buddy, Keith Hands, come down from Columbia. And they're like, all right, we're going to go to the show with you. So we all met up and went to the show early. Had no freaking idea who Charlie Bonnet III and the Folkin Gasholes were.
I never heard of them either, dude.
I know. There was no word on the street about these guys. So we decide, okay, we're gonna go. We'll get there early. We're having dinner. We got there early. I'm sitting there shooting the shit with some dude who's fucking like this tall. I had a jean battle jacket on, and we were talking about patches and bands and this and that. And dude is cool fucker, man. I mean, he was really, really cool dude. Well, he says, man, I gotta go. I was like, all right, I'll catch you later. You're like, yeah, you go up. So I'm sitting there, and it's the opening band, and me and Carrie, my wife, are sitting there, and I'm like, well, let's go in and catch these guys, see what they're like. We'll hang out for a couple songs. Go see the opening bands, because these mother folkers kicked the shit out of me. I mean, you guys put on a set that was like took you by your neck, threw you up against the wall, rocked your face off for about an hour, and then let go and let me hit the floor. It was amazing.
Thank you, man. That was South Carolina, right?
Yeah, that was down in Charleston at the Tin Roof.
Yeah. What was cool about that is we got there, and like we could only run half stacks. We were like armed with full stacks. And we got there, we're like, this is like a little room, and they're not going to mic anything up. And we plug in, and we had like a ground hum happening in the amps. And we're like, oh, fuck. And then we're like, this is just like a punk rock bar. We're just going to run vocals through the PA and just let it rip. And it wound up being a great gig, dude.
It was such a great game. When I walked into the place, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this place. I live here and I've never been there. And it was like this hole in the wall, shithole, biker bar kind of thing, which I feel very comfortable in. They were my favorite places in the world. And, I'm like, Junkyard's playing here. And there was probably 200 people there, packed in, sweating our nuts off and just having a blast. And both bands just kicked the shit out of us. And wow.
Well, when it's February and you're sweating your nuts off, it's crowded in the bar, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, I tried after that, I tried to find, Folkin Gashole's music. And if you go to Spotify, there's one album and like 3 singles.
Yeah.
3 singles are Fairweather Friend, I'm Just Me, and Hillbilly Rockstar. And Hillbilly Rockstar came out in 2020. Now, and then there's the one album, We've Never Heard of You Before, which is the truth with you guys. I don't think anybody's ever heard of you. And, to name an album that is like perfect. Now, how long actually has the Folkin Gasholes been around?
Well, there's a little backstory. We had a 4-man band in 2016, actually 2015 and 2016. And it was me and Seth with a different drummer, and we had this little hot shot lead guitar player, young kid. And that was a band called Charlie Bonnet and the Rebel Ways. And it was mainly like playing just filthy bike rallies and, you know, just the seediest of trailer park style venues out there. And
the best.
we had a gig booked in Oklahoma in like April of 2017. And 3 or 4 days before the show, the drummer and guitar player quit the band.
Damn.
Yeah, we were actually on stage at another outdoor gig, and when we came off stage, they told us that they were quitting. And so we had a contracted gig in Oklahoma, and Shane, the drummer at the time, happened to be at that show, just hanging out as a spectator, and it was Easter weekend, and we got in my van, and I said, call your mama, tell her you're not going to be at Easter dinner. And he's like, why? I said, because you've got to learn 50 songs in 4 days. You're the drummer. No pressure or nothing, but we got a gig in Oklahoma next Saturday night.
Let's do this.
And so I play a lot of acoustic shows around home, kind of like folk music.
Yep. We
just thought, you know what? It sounds punk rock. We're getting rid of Rebel Ways, and we're just going to be the Folkin Gasholes. And people thought it was funny. They thought it was funny. So it's kind of a novelty. It's like, you know, it's an interchangeable lineup depending on who's available to do what. But it's me and the guys in the backing band, and we go out and get loud and crazy and hope it don't suck.
You guys don't suck. I mean, you guys don't suck. I mean, not at all. Like I said, I tried to like find all kinds of music, and what I'm gathering is you take some of your, because you do a lot of acoustic. You have a lot of like Southern acoustic, just, you know, good music, good Southern acoustic music. You got what, 18 albums? I think I counted.
Yeah, it's like including compilations and stuff. I think I got almost 22 records now.
Jeez. Yeah, but there's a lot of music out there.
A lot of that was because of COVID, because I thought, A, we weren't playing with the band, obviously, and B, I didn't know how serious that this thing was. I thought, fuck, I'm going to die or something. I don't want all my catalog just like sitting on sheets of paper or on thumb drives. I'm just going to record every week because we're not playing. And so that's why so much acoustic music in the past year. But I prefer being a rock artist with electric guitar, but it's hard to keep band members on the same page. It's hard to balance schedule. It's hard to get paid.
Right. So, you got to do what you got to do to get paid.
Yeah, I mean,
to feed your soul, really.
I mean, at the end of the day, for better or for worse, I pretty much pay every bill I got with an acoustic guitar in my hand.
And that is beautiful.
Playing Billy Bob's Chicken Wing House on a fucking Wednesday night, or a funeral, or a wedding, or wherever I can get booked. Like, I've literally played about everything you could. I played a nursing home on Christmas for like singing Christmas carols for like dying old people, which was the most heartbreaking gig I ever played ever.
Right.
You know,
but, they appreciate it. They appreciate it. And, no matter where you can play music, just play music. I mean, you got people that play it on the street corner to make ends meet. You got people, if the rock band isn't doing it, and you got a lot of artists out there, they have side gigs. They go out and they sit and they do acoustic shows 2, 3, 4 times a week. And then their band plays maybe once a month. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to feed your soul. You just want to play music.
Yeah, with the band, it's like I wanted to try to keep the Gasholes out of cover band territory, just because, I mean, you can only play Give Me 3 Fucking Steps so many times in your life, you're ready to shoot yourself.
Freebird!
Yeah, so it's like, And those gigs don't pay money anyway. I can make more money on acoustic strumming all night. So
Really?
when we go do shows like with Junkyard, I mean, we're literally playing for merch. They're not paying us anything.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're out there just hoping to stay alive, make gas money, and get a hotel room. You know, so we can only afford to do so much of that. And then like bike rallies and stuff pay good money and things like that. But like, if you want to get in front of eyes, you got to be out with a national act or something like that. And opening band, you're playing for a tip bucket and you're hoping to sell some cotton and some CDs. That's just what it is.
That's what it's become. You know, it's not like it was back in the 80s where the band covered you this, that, the other thing. They paid all your expenses. You were on tour with them. Nowadays, they're not paying you anything.
Yeah.
You got to sell merch. You know,
well, we did another Junkyard tour that summer, and I had a different bass player on that run. I got catfish, dude. Like, I needed a bass player. Couldn't find anybody that could be out for 2 weeks. I get on Craigslist, and like this guy replies, and he sends me this photo, man. And he looked cool, and I thought, all right, I need you. So he shows up at my house, and he's a fucking senior citizen, dude. He's like 65 years old. He says, yeah, the photo I sent you was from 1989. I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit. I was afraid you'd judge me on my age. You can ask the Junkyard. His name was Larry. You can ask any of the Junkyard guys about Larry. He's just this old, campy old man. I had to take him on the road. Like, I had no choice. And I mean, he played all right. He didn't fit. He didn't have the energy, the rock energy I needed.
Right.
But, you know, we were out for 15 days total, and we had to pay for half the bus.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we barely broke even just selling T-shirts, you know, so. But, I mean, we met a lot of people, and we played New York and Massachusetts and places we couldn't play just on our own, and we loved the guys in Junkyard. Every one of those dudes is the fucking coolest, man.
Oh, yeah. They're great, man.
They're great. So, like, we had a good time, but, like, I get home and literally 2 days later, I'm back down at Billy's Wing House trying to make $200 on an acoustic singing Freebird, because that's reality. I'm a working musician, just reality.
Right. And you've been doing this, you know, like there is not a lot of information out there about you. I mean, you have not a lot of information, but I was reading stuff before, you know, when I first heard of you guys. And the one thing that stuck with me is I think you were 13 when you got your first guitar, and you know, didn't really know, and you're like, wow, this it felt like a shield. I think I read.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I was a real nerdy little kid. I actually was like a straight A kid, man. Like short hair, big ass glasses, you know, like
right.
And like I was a karate black belt, so every kid in school wanted to beat me up just to see if I could, you know, let's see what you got. You know, so I was getting my ass beat every day at school and all this stuff. And then I had a friend across my street named Kenneth Hayes, and he was probably 6 years older than me. So he had money to go buy tapes, and he got me into Faster Pussycat, Guns N' Roses, LA Guns, all these bands. It's just like I would hear just the aggression and the guitar sound and be like, man, like I'm identifying with that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because in Tennessee, it's country or it's Leonard Skinner, and I love both of those to a degree, but I mean, they can beat you to death with it. So my friend Kenneth got me into rock and roll, and it was Christmas of 1989. My mom said I could either get a stereo for Christmas or I could get an electric guitar. And so my brother took the stereo and I took the electric guitar. And it was like, I've been too stubborn to quit since that day.
Right.
What it boils down to.
Right. And you've been basically like 15 years old. You were doing you were playing clubs.
Yeah.
You were out there. It's
so funny. My first band, you know how Budweiser's slogan is the king of beers?
Yes.
I was a 15-year-old kid, and I had some high school age and even early college age buddies that scooped me up to play lead guitar, and our band was called No Aftertaste. And we're the king of bands instead of the king of beer. Same logo, and we would go play like clubs. My dad would have to like sit in there with me. I was 15, playing bars, honky tonks, frat parties, you name it.
Name it.
I was a lead guitar player locally.
This is Ian McGregor. So I love talking to Charlie at M3 and seeing him in his fanboy moment with Little Caesar.
Yeah, Little Caesar, man. I hope to do some shows with him. Yeah, Lauren from Little Caesar is actually a friend of mine. He's my rep at Black Star Amps. He works for Black Star Amplification, and he got me my deal with Black Star. So Little Caesar's the best, dude.
Dude, they are so good. And then they're one of them bands that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah, yeah, they were awesome.
They were awesome. They came out Saturday and just Saturday or Sunday. I can't remember what day they played, but they just unbelievable. Great set.
They're amazing, an amazing band. And Lauren's wearing a Charlie Bonnet T-shirt in the most recent Little Caesar album.
Really?
Yeah, the Little Caesar 8
Yes,
CD.
I have it.
Look at his T-shirt. He's wearing a Charlie Bonnet T-shirt inside the sleeve.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm going to pull it out. I got it sitting right over there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it's called advertisement. All the bands do it. You see some of these big name bands, they wear a little band shirt that they dig. Just because that gets you recognized. Hey, what's that T-shirt? If I see a band member with a T-shirt that I like their music, I see, oh, he's wearing a Charlie Bonnet shirt. Maybe I gotta check him out.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's the way it rolls, man.
Yeah. Now your first band was called Disarray.
Disarray, yeah.
Disarray. What kind of music was that?
We were like a corrosion of conformity. Like we loved bands like Pantera and Metallica, but we couldn't play good enough to be that articulate. So it was more like a sloppier Prong meets COC kind of band. But what I started doing vocals. I'd never sang before in my life, and we couldn't find anybody to sing. And actually, that was a much heavier band.
Yes.
Than what I was used to doing. But the guys in my band, I mean, they were the first people to teach me who Sepultura was, Biohazard, all these bands. And so it's like, it was kind of out of my wheelhouse as a kid, but we grew into it, and we wound up doing 5 records, man. We toured with Guar for 5 or 6 weeks. Odorous from Guar produced our 4th album.
Nice.
We played all around. We played CBGBs in New York, played all down in Florida. We played all of America. And I went broke and got a record deal that left me broke, and I filed bankruptcy, and I came home and got my acoustic guitar out. That's the Reader's Digest Cliff Notes version.
Reader's Digest. Yeah. And then you ended up going, now, did you go on, when you were in Disarray, you actually went on tour with Biohazard, did you not?
We played shows with a bunch of nationals. I mean, Biohazard, we did a few shows, not like a real tour, like weekend kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did gigs with Sepultura, gigs with Overkill.
That's right.
The one big tour we did was Guar. It was in 2002, the Blood Drive tour, Soylent Green and Guar. It was like 5 weeks.
That had to have been whack.
Yeah, and you know what? we got paid $100 a show.
Wow.
And we were sleeping in the van. Yeah, sleeping in the van. Couldn't even afford a hotel.
Damn.
I mean, we would play the gig and get our $100 and sell our T-shirts and be sleeping out in the parking lot. Get up and do it the next day.
Life of a rock star.
Yeah, it was glamorous. Yeah, it was glamorous. I had a crazy goatee back then and like really long hair, like 2 feet longer than my hair now. It won't grow that long now.
Right. We're older now.
But it was me and my bass player. His name is Vance Wright. Vance plays in Gasholes part-time too. So he fills in on bass sometimes. So I still have the Disarray core band member that plays with me to this very day. So
nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you went on to another band,
yeah.
Moccasin Creek.
Yeah, there's one little step before that. 2009 rolled around. I had a nervous breakdown, dude. I quit music. Like I went crazy. I ain't gonna lie. And I got put on like 800 milligrams or some crazy amount of Zoloft. It was just to keep me sane.
Sane.
Yeah, and I didn't touch a guitar for a year and a half. I sat at home living off of a credit card and getting fat. I ballooned up to like 280 pounds. Just this sloppy, just piece of garbage is what I felt like. I didn't want to do music. I was burnt out on music. Disarray was on hiatus. I wasn't doing anything. And then this chick I know in Memphis called one day and said, "Hey, Chuck, you want to make some money?" And I said, "Yeah." "Oh, I want to make some money." And she said, "Well, I want you to go play on a studio session." I said, "Well, what kind of music?" She said, "Well, it's rap music." I said, "Fuck no, I ain't doing that."
That's right.
Right? And so about a week later, she calls back. "Please go out here and talk to this guy. Please check it out." I said, "There's no way. I'm already doing acoustic music. My Disarray fans hate the acoustic music.
That. You're going to lose the rest of them if
That's
you
what I
line
said.
up with a rapper.
I said, "I'm already on like career suicide path, like major." So it's like, no. So she calls the third time about 2 weeks later. And I said, "You know what? I'm sitting at home depressed. Fuck it. I'm going out there." So I'm on my way to meet this rapper. His name is Big Smo.
Big Smo.
And I'm sitting at a 4-way intersection. On my way, I got my guitar and amp in the back. And on my way to his house, and out of nowhere, I get in this car wreck. This woman has a heart attack driving this big ass full-size truck, and she hits a car behind me that's got these college age girls, kills 2 of the girls.
What?
They smash into the car I'm in. My guitar goes flying into the street. It was terrible. Wow. So I get hauled off in an ambulance, and needless to say, I didn't meet up with Big Smo that day.
No Big Smo?
No Big Smo. So I wound up calling and rescheduling with him. I thought, that was a sign from the rock gods that I don't need to fuck with this, but I'm gonna go. So I go out there, and I totally hit it off with this dude, man. Like, he's the coolest. Like, he's born in California. I'm born in California. We're like a week apart in age.
Damn.
He's a rapper that raps about country stuff, which I didn't identify with at all at the time. Like, that fan base is the same people that picked on me when I was a kid. I'm like, I don't really know about this. But he knew I could sing like a Leonard Skinner type thing for the choruses. So I do this album called American Made with Big Smo. And we get picked up by Warner Brothers. Like, a huge buzz happens about this. Next thing I know, we're playing gigs. It's like, it goes from being fat dude that has not played in 18 months, just going to quit music. Jeez. The next thing you know is the exact opposite. It's just popping, right?
Right.
So when it's time for the Warner Brothers deal, he had this manager who I really couldn't stand named Dan Nelson out of California. And Dan says, "Well, you're not going to be a part of the deal." And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm writing and singing this stuff. Like, what are we going to do?" And he's like, "I got 10 guitar players in my phone, younger than you, better than you, and who will play for way cheaper than you." And I was like, "Well, you better call one of them dudes then." I mean, it just came out of my mouth. Like, I shouldn't have quit, but I did. I said, "Well, you better just get to dialing." Right. And so we did. And so me and the other guy that was another rapper in that band. We formed Moccasin Creek, and same thing. It's like a poor man's Kid Rock. I'm the lead guitar player and the country vocals, and then you got a fat guy rapping. I mean, that's the formula.
Hey.
And, I mean, we had a lot of fun for a while, and now we hate each other, and I had to sue him because he took all the money and I got nothing.
Damn.
But we did 4 records and a bunch of singles, and it lasted 3 years or so. And then I figured if I can help get somebody on Warner Brothers, and if I can help blow up the Moccasin Creek thing, because I mean, this dude's pulling all kinds of money off YouTube. We did 40-something million views of our catalog. It's like, I can do this for myself. I'm at the age where I'm tired of making other people money.
Right.
It's time to not live in the van and not sleep on the floor. You know, I'm an old man. It's time to collect.
Right. Exactly.
You know how it is.
Right.
You know how it is to be rock. Do you feel me?
I feel you. It's
I gotta
time
get
to get paid.
It's time to get paid.
I'm making other people money. Give me the money.
I need the dollars because I got a coffee habit I'm trying to sustain.
I got a coffee. Hey, it's better than a lot of other habits that we used to have.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
You know. Now, you've done some collaboration, not just Big Schmo. You've done collaborations with others that, you know, I think it's the most recent. I don't know. I can't really tell you if it's the most recent. But you've done it, Sitter with a Song with Tracy Guns.
I did.
Yes. How'd that go, and how'd that collaboration come about?
Well, it's crazy because Tracy Guns is actually the guitar player that made me want to play electric guitar as a kid.
Nice.
When I loved rock. I was over at my friend Kenneth's house across the street, and he had the LA Guns One More Reason VHS video cassette. And we would sit there and watch and try to like pause the shit and stand the way they're standing and try to imitate, right?
Right.
And it's the video where Tracy Guns gets hit by the car and the windshield wipers are going smearing the blood. He's smashing the guitar and the camera is like shaking. I was like, I want to be like that guy.
I want to be that guy.
So he was my childhood hero. And so the last year of Moccasin Creek, we were trying to just give ourselves a different angle in the scene. There was a whole bunch of country rappers that all had the fat guy and then all had the guitar player guy. And I was like, man, we're going to have to step away and find an angle. So
get out there and
yeah,
instead of fit in, stand out.
We had to stand out. So I had been playing on a bunch of tribute albums for a guy in Nashville named Jake Brown. He's got a record label called Versailles Records. And he's that guy, like, whenever there used to be Tower Records, you'd see those CDs featuring current and former members of Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, and it's all just a bunch of no-name crap.
Right.
Sorry, Jake, I don't mean to say your records are not crap. I'm saying it's a bunch of no-name guys with some name guys.
Right.
And they don't meet in real life. They do it all over the internet, send in their files. So I've done probably 10 of those for Jake, and Jake knew Tracy Guns because Tracy had played on some of that stuff.
Right.
So I hit Jake up. I was like, dude, I need some firepower on this new Creek record. Who do you know? And so we did an EP, and we had Bruce Kulick from Kiss on a song.
Nice.
And we had Tracy Guns on a song. So fast forward to I'd been thrown out of Moccasin Creek at the end of 2014. We had a big falling out. The next time that Tracy came through Tennessee was in Memphis. And I went down to see his band play. I'd never met him in person. He played on a Creek track, but he'd never met me in person. And so I went down, introduced myself. Totally cool, right? So I didn't think much more about it than that. They come back through town and another 6 months later, I go see him that day, and he gave me a shout out from the stage. Charlie Bonnet, how you doing, buddy? I thought, well, that was cool.
That's cool as fuck.
So when the gig is over, he goes out to the little RV they were traveling in, and he's out there chilling. I was just going to go up and, say hey or whatnot, and thank him for the shout out on the stage or whatnot. And I handed him a CD I had. It's a record I did called Household Name with a Nashville band. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of looking at it or whatever. And he said, hey, if there's ever anything that I can do for you, hit me up.
Well, as a matter of fact, now that you mention it,
I've got a batch of songs I'm fixing to do for EP. Would you be into mixing and fixing and collaborating on a few things? He said, sure. The only catch is this was October of 16, and LA Guns was reuniting in like January of 17. So I had like a 2-month window to book a studio in Nashville, get my guys trained on the songs. This is why it's not a full length. I only had enough time to pull together 6 songs. I'm like, shit, right. I want to work with Tracy. And so that's what it was, man. He was hired to mix and fix it. He wound up playing the B3 organ on the song Heading Home, which I was excited about. Yeah, he added a good flavor to it. And we've just stayed really cool since, man. I'm a big fan, and it's an honor to be on a record with him.
And you got to sit there and go, you know what? To be that kid that picks up that guitar and wants to emulate that guy, and then you meet that guy.
Yeah.
And, and you play on a record with that guy, you got to be like, this is it. This is as good. I've done everything I've ever wanted to do.
Well, the town that I grew up in Tennessee is called Charlotte. It's like, I don't know. When I was a kid, there might be a couple thousand people living there, maybe. I mean, it's not the breeding ground for rock stars at all.
No.
It's a single lane road and people on tractors doing 3 miles an hour that you cussing at trying to get around them.
Come on,
I got to go to work. It's like the little 13-year-old me. All my dreams came true, man.
Yeah, man.
And I ain't in no mansion. I don't have a sports car. I don't have money and MTV success, but I do have 133 original songs on Spotify, and I played with a lot of my heroes.
And you got a lot of kick-ass memories.
Yeah, man.
And you know what? This time, you get older and you look back, and I could have done a lot more with my life, but you know what? I got some pretty great memories. I might not make the most money. I might not have everything I want. I don't have a boat or a bike or, things that I'd like to have, but I got a hell of a lot of good memories.
I know people with boats and bikes that never use them because they don't have time. They're too busy working in some shithole that they hate, coming home to wife bitching at them and hating their life and wash, rinse, and repeat.
Wait a minute.
I can say, as far as my life, I went all in. I'm still going all in. And the end result, who knows what it'll be. But, I mean, I do pay all my bills with a guitar. I'm not working in a factory. And I've worked factories. It's not anything against that. It's just, I'm a working musician, and I'm doing it for real. So
and you know
there's
what?
Worse things.
There is worse things.
Yeah.
And you just said, you don't have a wife bitching at you when you come home. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was an autograph concert a week or two back. I think you got down on a knee.
Well, I got a bad knee. I fell down.
I got a bad knee.
No. That's my sweet and precious and adorable Holly Joe.
Yes. Congratulations.
unconditionally. Yeah,
Yes.
she's my biggest blessing and my best friend.
She's a good girl, man.
Yeah,
I've met
no,
her a
she's the
couple of times.
best.
Awesome. Awesome.
She's
I'm
the
happy for you
best.
both.
And you know,
I don't think you'll have to worry about coming home and her bitching at you. She's a pretty cool chick.
she's cool and she makes way more money than me. She holds it together.
Hey, you got a sugar mama. You are like
I got a sugar mama. That's right.
the epitome of guys right now. Everybody's jealous of you. I'd love to have a sugar mama. Come on.
Over here, sugar mama. She's over here trying to get her to get
I
on
know. She's very comfortable in front of the camera. I mean, she does these lunchtime lives every single day. On lunch, I'm like, Holly's doing her makeup again. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
I tried to get her to doctor these cheeks up, kind of put me a little war paint on before I hit the camera.
Right.
I went in all natural today, B-Rock.
Oh, you look fucking sexy to me, baby.
I aim to please, man.
Right. Now, you've been on tour with a bunch of bands, too. You've toured with the likes of Kiss, Alice Cooper, Exodus, Testament.
Well, those are collaborations with
collaborated.
Yeah.
Yes. You've collaborated with a lot of different bands.
Yeah, a lot of that is the Jake Brown tribute stuff for Versailles Records. He got like Kerry Kelly to play on a track with me, who's in Night Ranger now. He was in Alice's band. And, the Bruce Kulick thing is through the Moxon Creek record. But the Exodus thing, Zetro from Exodus is one of my best friends, man. Like, he had a band when he was out of Exodus. His band was called Hatriot, which that band is still going. It's his kids. His two boys are the leaders of that band. But I did backup vocals on their first album. So, like, I actually just gang shouts. It's like a lot of their friends, but it was like Phil Dimmel, who was in Machine Head. He was there screaming in the same mic as me. And it was just like, here's Zetro from Exodus, like, and I'm on his record, man. So it's like, nice. The dude is super cool. He's one of my biggest heroes and friends. So
nice.
That was fun.
Nice. And basically I'm trying to get at, I didn't know. Like I said, the first time I saw you at that show was the first time I ever heard of you. But then when I find somebody or find out about a musician or a band, I like to go backwards and see where they came from, what they did, what they've been up to. And it's like, I'm sitting there going, how the hell did I not know who this guy was? Because here he is collaborating with bands that I've known. And I've known about stuff. And, you sit there and you go, how the hell do some musicians just pass you by? You don't hear of them. And it's kind of a shame.
Unfortunately, there's no record industry. It's like, I say unfortunately, it's kind of fortunate too, because like when I was a kid, you would hear from all the managers and label people, if you're not signed by the time you're 27, you're too old. You're not gonna make it. And then the internet blows up and everything is DIY, which that's right in my wheelhouse from Disarray. We were our own publicist. We were wearing it out 7 days a week, DIY, and that's what the business is now. But unfortunately, there's a lot of static that comes with that. Everybody and their mother can put stuff out on YouTube, put it out on Spotify. So it's hard to stand out.
Right. It's saturated with it.
Oh, bro. It's so retarded. It's like you see people that are like viral on YouTube for being terrible.
Terrible.
They're monetizing it, and it encourages just stuff that sucks. People are dumping hot sauce in their eyes, and they get 8 billion views, and then they're buying a car with it. You know what I mean? It's like the days of honing your craft and trying to become a good player and learn it. It's a dying art to a degree, but we just team up with like-minded brains like Junkyard and LA Guns and people that we love, and it's going to be what it is, man. Run it up the flagpole, see who salutes.
Exactly. The diehard fans will be there. They've taken, music and just made it. A kid can sit there on his computer and make music, and it's never maybe never seen a guitar, and he's getting more views on YouTube than a band is. And it kind of makes me sick, but we did it to ourselves in the 80s with the invention of everything that came in. It's like, we saw it coming, and here it is. But my daughter, she likes, liked, or it still likes a little bit, some of that poppy music. And I sit there and I tell her, hey, this is done on the computer. This is, this ain't him really singing. This is going through processors. And she's like, no. But now she hears it, and she's like, you know what? That is too. And she listens to my music, and I'm like, this is not. And she gets kind of a little more interested. She asked me the other day, can we go see Guns N' Roses?
Right.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can.
Finally, it's not Miley Cyrus or Billie Eilish. Let's go. I'm in. But
parenting done right. Finally. But it's not all the way there yet. Her first concert was Queensryche, so in Charlotte, so it was not bad. But they'll come around, and some of these kids out there nowadays are thirsting for something more, something better, because this other music has, I think it's run its course. Everything does. It runs its course. I tell people that everything's constantly in a state of motion and moving. Like, if things remain the same, we'd all be doing the fucking twist. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Shit's gonna move around. So it's like, I just do what I do and hope to find an audience for it. Yep. And when I was a kid, if it didn't have Aquanet and Les Pauls and leather pants and if it's not Guns N' Roses, I didn't like it. Like, I loved Motley and LA Guns and Faster and all these bands, and I still love them. But like, I started realizing I can't pay my rent off $50 and a pizza doing these gigs, man. So it's like, that brought in, hey, I want to go write with these Nashville writers. I want to go see what all these people are doing, because I'd rather expand my horizons and make money with a guitar in my hand than to be the guy that you see at the concert with the skullet, with the fucking, he's still hanging on, he's like 60 and still I don't want to be that guy. I gotta adapt, which is where we're at now.
You're describing me. Bandanas because of bald spots and shit, dude, like that.
That's why I got my cowboy hat. The once flowing mane ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Not at all, dude.
I feel you. Yeah, but I want to always play until I'm dead. I mean, that's just what I do. It's it keeps me out of trouble too, because like, I had anger issues really bad as a kid. Like, I'd probably be in jail if I didn't have like songwriting and, plug into the Marshall stack and let it rip. Right. Get the endorphins and the adrenaline going, and you start feeling better. I mean, that kept me out of prison probably. Yeah. I'd have fucking stabbed somebody. Right. I mean?
And a lot of us were like that. Me in high school, I mean, I had friends, but there was jocks and heads, and you got picked on, and this and that and the other thing. You go home, you just slam your fucking door. Mine was drums or just music, and it just that was the release. Fuck everybody. I could have went and shot up a school, but I didn't. Yeah. Back then we didn't think of that. We just put the headphones on, laid in our bed, and just chilled. Went and smoked reefer with a couple friends that we had, and hey. Yeah, this is good.
Well, I guess I held grudges a little longer than I should have, but like, all the people that picked on me back then, like, I was always like, they'll see me doing something one day, and we're doing it. So
hey, there goes that kid, man. I used to fucking shove his head on a locker. Now
that's exactly right. I used to try to flush his head in the toilet. Now he's playing these big gigs.
Right. This other guy's sitting in a fucking recliner and never made anything of his life. And I've had people come up to me later on in life, and they've told me they were sorry for for shit. And I had a guy come up to me one time and he goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." I'm like, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm so-and-so. You used to make fun of me on the bus." I'm like, "Well, dude, I don't know that I ever made fun of you because I was always the one getting made fun of."
Right.
And I said, "If I did, I truly am sorry." He's like, "I don't want to hear your bullshit." And I'm like, "You sure you don't have me mistaken for somebody else?" I don't remember this. And to say that kind of pisses them off even more because to them it's a big deal. They're still holding on to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't remember it. That dude just wanted to plow me." And he didn't, and I'm thankful. And I sat there, to this day I cannot remember that. And people, kids don't realize that when they pick on others, that person remembers it for the rest of their life. I know who got me. I know what happened to me, but I'm pretty sure the guys that did it don't even have a recollection.
It's so funny. On the first Disarray record, which is like over a quarter of a century ago, 1995,
wow,
we had a fuck you list in the sleeve because
nice.
we didn't realize what slander is or anything like that. We were just like, fuck you. And we were just, the lady that would call the law on us practicing is fuck you. Ex-band members, people we worked with, we just put this huge fuck you list, and it even said the fuck you list includes but is not limited to the following.
The following
with the little colon, and then it had the damn list. But there's a guy in that list, I won't even mention his name. He was the guitar player in the earliest version of Disarray. This is like 1994 when we fired him. He's pissed about that to this fucking day.
Wow.
I'm like, bro, that was like literally a quarter of a century ago. You can let it go. We're good.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I was 18 years old when we recorded that. I've outlived Jesus by 12 years now. I was 18 at the time. So it's like, I'm not the same person. But it's just like some people, man.
They hold on to it.
They hold on.
That's their baggage, not ours.
Not my problem.
Right. I've learned, people, we've done some dumb shit. I've done some really dumb shit in my life. I've pissed people off. I've hurt people. But I make it a point that, if I do run into them, I'm sorry. I make it a point that, hey, if I remember it and I can get out to them on Facebook, they might not want to hear it and they might tell me to go fuck yourself. But I've reached out to people, messaged people and say, "Hey man, I'm sorry for the way I treated you this time. I just, trying to say I'm sorry." And sometimes they respond back well. 90% of the time. And it's thank you very much, this, that, the other thing. But other times you get a fuck you, it's like, okay, you know what? Hold on to it. But I've done my job. We're good.
Right. And now I'm too old to fight now. So now just write a song just exposing people's bullshit and put it out. It lives for forever. And they're just forever. Like, oh, no. There's a song about me now, shining me in a really bad light. Fuck you, Charlie Bonnet. I'm like, no, fuck you
again.
Yeah.
Now, if there was
I'll monetize it and make money off these assholes.
Exactly. Why not? Everybody else does.
Yeah.
They're all calling each other, everybody out. Now, if you could work with one person, there's one person, if you could just work with, do an album together that you have not worked with yet because you've worked with some people, who would that be?
Alive or dead?
We'll go alive first. We'll do one of each.
Oh man.
All my heroes are dead.
Well, no, I got a lot of heroes, but if I ain't got but one, it needs to be somebody that I could make a lot of money off of.
Right.
Not any of these little bands. Most of the bands I like are in the trenches like me. So it's if I was going to do something really huge, I'd want to write with an Elton John or somebody like that.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Artist. Yeah,
he's a hell of a songwriter. I don't give a shit what anybody says. That guy's really good. I remember back in my youth, Rocket Man, you know, all his songs was always on the radio, and you know, to this day, I like them.
I love all the '70s rock. I love Bad
Absolutely,
Company. I love Elton.
absolutely.
You know, and they're all, a lot of them are old or fitting to die off or are dying off. You know, you look at ZZ Top, it's like,
Wow,
wow, man. You know what I
wow.
mean? It's just like,
But then you look and you're like, wow, these guys have been doing this for 50
yeah.
years. Then you go back, you know, you go back on Spotify and you look, and holy shit, their first album was in 1970. I forgot.
Yeah. Yeah. I was not even thought of in 1970. You know what I mean?
I just came out.
Yeah. But like a more practical thing for, like, you know, a bucket list would be probably somebody like Tom Kiefer, man. Cinderella was my first rock show as a kid. I'd like to collaborate with somebody like that, or, you know, I just want to be working. I want to be working with people on a level higher than me, so I'm learning. And so, you know, you don't want to write songs with the kid down the road that's just starting out. You want to write songs with one of your fucking heroes that can pull you upward.
Hell yeah. And teach you something, like you said, you know, always.
Yeah. And then as far as dead rock stars, I wish I could have done something with Lemmy.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then probably somebody from the original Skinner that went down in the plane crash. Cause I mean, you know, I cut my teeth on it. Like, a thing with Tennessee, it's like you're either listening to old country music, which I hated as a kid. Now I like it because it reminds me of being a kid. But at the time, my mom would have Nashville 95 FM on. I wanted to fucking throw the radio in the street. I hated it. Or if you turn on the radio, you're hearing Skinner or Allman Brothers or something like that. So
that's what we
grew up. Somebody like that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. And that would fit your style, man. I mean, your style is great. Don't change ever. I mean, I love it. You get up on stage. Now, I don't know where you got all them songs from that you played on that show, but it couldn't have been everything from your album. I'm pretty sure you took some of maybe your solo and turned them into rock songs, you know, because
that's what we do.
That's what I thought.
Mean, Gasholes is pretty much the live band vehicle to play my songs that I write.
Right. And you write them acoustically, which is beautiful. And they're great songs. And then you put them, you harden them up, and bam, throw them on stage. And then, I mean, it's just like, holy shit. You know,
the live band has always got to be way harder than even the studio records, just because, I don't know, man, like there's still a part of the disarray in me that wants to turn the gain on the amplifier a little harder than it needs to be, tune the guitar down a little bit, sling it low.
Heck yeah.
Bang your head if you can and let it rip, dude. I always have, it's like a pent up energy that's just, it's an unhealthy energy to keep inside of me, so I have to let it out. It's like the equivalent of somebody that goes to the gym all the time, to just let that out.
Right.
So I got to turn it loud and yell in a mic. I mean, I only got a one octave vocal range, so you know, it is what it is.
You're good. You're fine. It took me by surprise, and I was happy with it. And I've seen shows that have happened up like in the Maryland area or some area, and I'm like, I see it. I tell friends if I got friends in Baltimore or New York or wherever I see a show pop up of yours, I'll tell friends, hey, you gotta go see this show.
Oh, thank you, man.
Yeah, and they're like, after they get done with it, they're like, this guy was great. These guys were great. I mean, it's problem. Like it's good. You know,
thank you, man. The problem is maintaining the momentum on it, because like we can get on a junkyard tour or something and go, we're playing for free, selling shirts, and we're able to get to Baltimore, we're able to get to New York, and then those fans are like, when are you coming back? Well, it takes 3 to 4 shows to route us that far up north. We either got to hop on with another band and we're starving to death, or we're going to try to do it on our own. It's just hard to maintain and to come see the fans again. You know what I mean? To like,
I know what you mean. You know, I hear from bands and musicians all the time. It's hard. There's not that tour anymore that they do. There's just 3 or 4 shows, and you got to line them up so that you make a little bit of money, and bam, and a lot of people have a day job, so you got to route it around that, and vacations and this and that, and so you've got to do it's hard. It's not as easy as it used to be.
All of them do. I know a lot of people that we love and have the CDs right now in our collection that are doing what they got to do to make money. And that's fine. No, it's cool.
Yep, we're trying.
I can't go down to the electric department and say, hey, I'll give you some of this pizza that I got from the gig. Keep my life. They don't give a fuck about that. Give me my money.
They don't want the pizza. They want the money.
They want the money. So it's like,
right.
That's why I'm out there on an acoustic singing whatever will put money in my tip bucket. A lot of acoustic gigs, I mean, I can make a couple $100 and tips and sell a couple CDs, and next thing you know, you go home with $300, and it's not rock star, it's lounge singer, but the bills are paid. So
bills are paid.
I try to balance it, try to balance it best I can, but I like for my bills to be paid.
Yeah, that's the best thing in the world, isn't it? It's the best thing in the world.
I'm gonna try to train Holly Joe into doing all the work and letting me kick back and just eat Cheetos all day, and she can pay the bill. Until then, I'm going to be playing my acoustic gig, right, sweetheart? So she went,
That was that sarcastic. Yeah, right. And if she agrees to that, ask her if she has a twin, and or sister, and hook me up with a sugar mom.
Got a sister.
She's got a sister.
Got a sister. I never met her, but she's got a sister.
Because I've never met a woman that told me, you could just sit around. Nope, not yet.
First time for everything, B-Rock.
You got that right, brother. Well, I'm gonna let you go. It was fun talking to you. Got anything you want to tell anybody? Any gigs coming up? Any things coming up in the Folkin Gashole freaking camp?
Well, I'm kind of relocating to Ohio, so I'm kind of revamping everything around that. And so there's not really a lot of gigs. I'm fixing to start playing some acoustic gigs and meeting the locals and doing stuff around this neck of the woods.
Cool.
And hopefully getting the band moving accordingly. I mean, there's gigs to be played still. Hopefully COVID won't knock it back down, but that knocked my momentum out. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm telling you.
It did everybody, but like it's been really hard, like getting going again, because everybody is going at the same time, and so supply and demand. I mean,
right. People, have been forced to pick the shows.
Yeah,
you can't do all of them, so you got to pick one.
That, and like even in the acoustic world, I've had people say, "Sorry, Charlie, the $200 gig is now a $75 gig." I'm like, "Ooh, I can't be doing that." You know what I mean?
Yep,
like,
because
so
they've lost so much revenue they can't pay it out anymore.
That's what it is. So
it's a whole thing. To telling people get out there and support the venues, support the musicians. They hurt like hell, and a lot of people are. I mean, they're getting out there trying to support as much as they can. People are still a little scared, of it.
Yeah,
like that.
No,
but
that's the real thing, But
we're going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel real soon. I hope.
All I can say is if I'm breathing, I'll be writing and recording music and playing whenever it makes sense to play, and financially and travel wise. So I'll be seeing all y'all again. I'm like a bad disease that pops up that they can't find a cure for. Like they think, we got it suppressed, and then Charlie Bonnet pops back up. Damn, we thought we had him gone.
Nope, not gone.
I'm back, bitches. Sorry.
I'm here. Deal with it.
Yeah, right. I'm here. But thank you, B-Rock, and thanks to all y'all for tuning in.
Hell yeah. Get out there and see Charlie Bonnet. If you got Spotify, go check out his things. I'll put up a bunch of links tomorrow in the groups. But check out his music. All his acoustic music is great. I mean, like I said, he brings that stuff to life, rock style, when he plays out there with them Folkin Gashole. One more question.
You got it, man.
That is straight gasoline you're drinking out of that fucking can every night, right?
That's the cheapest gas I can find. It's like $3.19 a gallon up here in Ohio right now.
Wow. You can't
the cheapest gas I can find. That's right. Yep.
Right.
It's the mystery. I call it the nectar of the gods.
Yes.
It's the mystery beverage, depending on day and time and how hot it is, will be what's the contents of that. But it's never premium gas because I'm a broke ass.
I'm a broke ass.
You know how it is.
If people don't know, he's got a gas can sitting on a freaking stool when he's on stage, and his dude chugs out of it. So it's got to, the way you are on stage, that's got to be leaded ass gasoline, just racing fuel.
Well, I'll give you a little background. I know we got to go, but I'll give you a background. I've been drinking out of a gas can ever since I was a little kid. That's the truth.
Really?
Because my mama, bless my mama, her rules when I was a kid, if the sun is out, you better have your ass outside. You're not going to sit in here watching TV, playing your Nintendo. If the sun is out, your ass is outside. So I had a gas can from Kmart or whatever that I had for basically a canteen. Me and my sister would go out in the woods, play all day, and that was like our water source. True story. I've been drinking out of a gas can since I was in the single digits.
No shit.
It just kind of became, it became a little trademark on stage, and people are like, "What's in the gas can?" It's like, you know, it's kind of like when you would read rock magazines as a little kid. People couldn't figure out what WASP stood for because the periods are between the same thing. What's in the gas can? Like, what's with the gas can? Like, people ask me every day of my life, what's with the gas? And that's what you want them to do. So
it's your stick, you know, like you put Queensrÿche, you put the two little dots over the thing. Oh, they gotta be cool. They got them dots, you know. Motley Crue,
right?
Wasp has the little periods, and you got heat periods.
That's exactly right.
You know, put something out there where it makes people go, "What's that about?"
That's
what's that stand for?
That's absolutely right.
Right. So, all right, man. Well, it was great talking to you. You're a cool guy. You see this guy out, man. You see him at M3. You see it anywhere at a show. Go up to him. Charlie Bonnet is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. Always got time to talk, and he's freaking interesting, man, and funny as fuck.
Thank you, man. I want everybody to go to Google, type in Charlie with an IE, Bonnet with one T, and the Roman numeral 3, and I pop up like a bad disease in the trailer park.
Yeah,
you'll find me.
That's great. I'm doing it right now, I guess.
Do it right now. D-Rock, love you, buddy. Thank you, man.
Love you, man. Thank you for being here.
I'll see you real soon. Later on.
Oh, absolutely.
See you.
Later. So you heard him. Go out there. Check out his stuff, man. I'm telling you, Charlie Bonnet and the Folkin Gasholes are one of the coolest bands I've ever seen. I mean, they were on tour with Junkyard. They blew my doors off. I went and saw the opening band, had no fucking clue who they were. Blew my mind. Go out there, check them out. If you go on Spotify, I'll post the links tomorrow, and go check into their Spotify. Check out his Facebook page. He's a cool cat. You'll love him. But support him. Go out, see that opening band every single time. You never know what you're going to find. There are diamonds in the rough out there that you are just gonna make you stand up and go, wow. And Charlie Bonnet and the Folkin Gasholes are one of them bands. If you get an opportunity when they get back out, go see them. You will not be disappointed. They're in your face, Southern fried rock and roll that you will absolutely love. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I had a blast. I always do. And I appreciate everybody that checks me out, comes in, hangs out with us. So until next time, Y'all be good. I think the next time I have Brad Lee, Scully Coley, and Bill Chavis on the 19th. We're going to sit around and bullshit about the state of rock and roll. They're all promoters. They're all band managers. So that, let's talk about just music in general, where the scene's at, and how what they're doing to try and improve it, try to get it to, where it should be, and what changes all three of them think need to be done, and what they're doing to bring them changes about. So that's the 19th at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, one of the two. Brad Lee, Bill Chavis, and Scully Coley, three of the coolest cats out there in the promoting and band managing scene right now. So see you then, and thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Love you all. Have a good night. Be good, or be good at it.